Hello and welcome to another Wisco Fanatics Wednesday. We got a few guests with us today. We have Matt Ramage, who is always fun to talk about with the Packers. And we have our buddy Steve here today, who during our extra episode on Thursday night bet us a pie on the Bears-Packers game. And unfortunately for Steve, the Bears lost that game. So it's up to Steve to take his pie to the face today.
Yes, I do owe y'all a pie bet. I have to run and Piggly Wiggly and go buy a pie from somewhere and take the pie back, but I do owe y'all a pie. Aaron Rodgers do own the Bears as usual.
All right, so let's jump right in. First of all, let's talk about the Packers offense. I want to know your guys' thoughts on the Packers offense versus the Bears defense, and then once we talk about this game, I want to get into a tweet by one Skip Bayless. But let's talk about this Packers offense first. Jake, why don't you kick us off?
Packers offense. So it was pretty early. You saw that the Bears were going to be playing too high safety. So they're playing shell defense. They're keeping everything in front. We don't really have the ability right now. We have one receiver who can really beat them over the top, and that's Davante Adams. So after you take away Davante Adams, you double him. We don't have a lot of deep threats. We have a lot of underneath stuff. We try to get the run going, play action. So with MVS missing out, it was a lot of short stuff, 10, 15 yards, 5 yards, dump offs. You know what? I thought Aaron Rodgers did a brilliant job, man, taking what the defense is giving them, moving the chains consistently, staying ahead of the chains is something that is talked about in football. So Rodgers, dinking and dunking. We got the running backs going. I thought A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones really did a phenomenal job. Offensive line, again, holding up. And, Bakhtiari was back at practice today. So hopefully we'll be getting, healthier, I would say, against Arizona, not against Washington this week. But, I thought the Packers offense was running on all cylinders, man.
Matt Ramage, welcome in. What did you think of the Packers offense on Sunday?
I liked it because the Bears have a good defense. The Bears always have a good defense. They always play the Packers tough. They're always the rivalry. And like he said, that they just took what they gave them. They don't try to force everything because I think that's when the Packers offense gets in trouble, when they try to force everything to Davante and they try to get certain things going. Just take what they give you. The Bears basically, all but shut down the run game. There wasn't a lot of running. And I'm still upset about that touchdown I was taking away. I know Bears fans are upset. I think the refs were horrible, in like every way. And maybe it was even more for the Bears than it was Packers. That touchdown, if it was, which I think it was, but that was such a beautiful play to have it taken away. But even like as it happened, because I live streamed in a game, I said if the Packers, if this burns us, I'm not going to blame the refs. Because the refs were so horrible. Anyways, that's the whole other thing. But yeah, I thought the offense did what they could do, and I think that's how the offense succeed is do what they let you do, and I think they did that.
It unfortunately ruined like the one good play that EQ has made so far this year, which was kind of a bummer. But when you see the extended hands, that to me is always going to be the penalty. But Steve, you're a Bears fan. How are you feeling about the Bears defense? Different perspective on that.
Like piggyback what Jake said, and what he said. The Bears and Packer game usually be close games and tough games. Our defense, we played good to me for 3 quarters. Like Jake said, we played 2 safety high mostly the whole game, and our tackling is very horrible. We missed a lot of tackles. We take away the deep threat with Davante Adams. We gave up a lot of short stuff, like he said. Y'all pretty much took what we gave y'all. And we wanted to do that, give y'all the short game, but we couldn't tackle. Eddie Jackson missing tackles. It was a bad tackling day overall. So just at the end, Aaron Rodgers made more plays than what the Bears did, and y'all got the win.
I said it to Jake. I wanted the Chris Berman on the A.J. Dillon jump cut. He's a big guy, and then he makes a big jump cut like that. It's not something you expect from A.J. Dillon, just like we weren't expecting him to be this effective in the passing game. Russell Warren's in the comments. He said the offense did well considering all the injuries we have along the O-line. We really miss MVS. He makes defenses respect his speed. Yep. I think as far as injuries concerned, I really, really think that the offensive line is where the Packers will most benefit from health. Not that they've done poorly in the absence of David Bakhtiari and Elkin Jenkins, and hopefully Josh Myers is okay. It sounds like it's not going to be an IR injury, but the Packers definitely need to be healthy everywhere, and especially on the offensive line and on the offense as a whole. But let's flip it around now. Let's talk about the Packers defense. Steve, I'll talk to you first, how you're feeling about the Bears offense. Obviously Justin Fields, and then no David Montgomery or Darrell Williams because he's out with COVID. So how do you look at the offense after this game?
I think we ran the football very well to have first string and second string running back out. I thought we ran the football very well. We all know how the Packers secondary is. Everybody know how the Packers secondary is. I thought y'all played good up front. Y'all kept Justin Fields from getting big gains and scrambling. I think still with the Bears play calling, they have to find a way to open up the football and let the young guy throw the football around. You letting him throw short passes, 5 yards, 6 yards. We have a lot of deep threat receivers to me, and you're not using them. So I feel like they need to open it up, let Justin Fields sling the ball around, let him make the mistakes. We all know the Bears ain't going to go far this year. Like I said, I have to get him a 3-year window to get far, that's what I expect. But you have to let the young guy make his mistakes and let him sling the football around, and that's what I think the Bears play calling should be.
Yeah, when we previewed the Packers-Bears game last week, I brought up Marquis Goodwin, a receiver that I actually like. It's kind of unfortunate he's on the Bears, so I don't want him to succeed now, but they really don't use him at all, and the only time they really took a deep shot on him, he drew a pass interference penalty, so I guess you did have that going for you. But Matt, how do you feel about the Packers defense after this game?
I think the defense played well. But first of all, before I say that, I want to say, like, Justin Fields, I actually like. And he's a Bear, so I don't like him that much. I like him. And, like, what he was saying is, like, there's, like, a 3-year window. Because, like, I agree. Like, if you have a rookie quarterback, a young guy, just let him go out there and do it. Sling it. Go at it. Let him get his bumps and bruises and stuff. Unless you have, like, a horrible offensive line, then I protect him because – like Joe Burrow situation or like RG3, like they just get killed. Mm-hmm. But like these coaches, I think that they're scared to do that because they're like, we're all gonna be fired. So like in 3 years when he's good to go, we're gonna be, defensive coordinator in Washington or something or whatever. So like I think that's why they're not doing it. It's probably hurting them. But if Justin Fields was on another team, I'd be rooting for him. Like my son's a Packer fan and he's all about Justin Fields. Seems like a good kid. So like people were saying that because like I trash the Bears a lot, but I don't really trash Bears players. I just trash the Bears like in general. I just joke around and just try to troll Bear fans. And people are like, "You said this about Justin Fields." I'm like, no, the only like really Bears player that I've ever trashed is Jay Cutler.
Oh man, I hated that.
So I just made fun of him all the time. Like he was like a walking meme. So like he's good for content. But I actually like Justin Fields. But I think the Packers defense is good. Like Jair's out, and when that happened, I was like, man, there's danger. Like this is danger. And I think the defense held up good. I mean, they're playing a rookie quarterback, but they kept them, from running all because Packers defense historically they have a quarterback, not even a scrambling quarterback that's not like Tom Brady that's just going to sit back there. Could turn into a scrambling quarterback. Like anybody's a scrambling quarterback. A lot of years for the Packers defense. So like they didn't let him, tear him apart and embarrass him and have him over on ESPN highlights.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like what the Packers defense did. They held them to 14 points. Whenever you hold a team to 14 points, like the defense did their job. Because if you can't score more than 14 points, you don't deserve to win. So like I'm happy about it. But there's some tough games coming up. So with the whole I love what Rodgers did with the whole I own you. I love trash talk. So like that was awesome to me. But like they can't. I don't think that they are. But man, they need to make sure they know they got some tough teams coming up, and that are losable. Like I saw people on Facebook saying like, "Oh, Rodgers is getting cocky." I don't think he's getting cocky. I don't even think. He probably wasn't even proud of it. He said he doesn't regret it, but like, when you're like in the moment, you just start yelling stuff. I think it's great, but
I love it.
Yeah, dude. Like when Randy Moss pretended to moon the fans at Lambeau Field, like as it happened, I was like, that's awesome. I love it. And like Matt Hasselbeck said, we want the ball, we're gonna score. I love that too. I'm glad it didn't end well for him. But when it happened, I laughed. I was like, I love it. Even if it's against my team, I just love all the trash, like the TO, all the celebrations, even when it was against us. Like I don't care. Like that's just fun. That's entertainment.
Yep.
All right, Jake. Sum up. What are you thinking about the Packers' defense against the Bears' offense, and then hit me with your 3 stars.
Okay. So, first of all, Matt, you are speaking to my soul because I was born to be a trash talker. You have no many times how many times I've been banned off of Xbox for trash talk.
Dude, it's
And Facebook.
Yeah, dude, I love trash talking. It is literally my second nature. Sometimes I can't even help it. I'll trash talk my grandma. Like, can't help it, dude. So, with that being said, about the defense, I think our D line is probably the most improved group on our team. I think Devondre Campbell has improved our linebackers, but I think our D line is the most improved group. They did a great job of rushing the passer and not over rushing. They kept their rush lanes. They kept him inside. And that one sack by Lowry where he grabs on the Fields, and this is probably one of the most athletic plays I've ever seen in my life. Fields holds himself up by spreading his legs out, and I'm like, whoa. Like, dude, Justin Fields is a great athlete. Yeah. He does actually have very good touch on deep passes, which will scare me in the future. But well, that's if the Bears actually get a correct head coach. But to this point, Justin Fields could turn into a very good quarterback. I see some of the plays. Yep. He just makes too many rookie mistakes right now where it's kind of like, I don't understand why he threw a couple of those passes up. You know what I mean? Like, he's kind of just throwing some lucky passes up. And that Amos interception was not an interception. For all the Packers fans out there, I don't think that was a catch.
It was really close.
Talk about the first one?
Right.
No, the one that Amos caught.
Yeah.
He caught it like the side of his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of trapped it.
Yep.
That's why I think the determination of he didn't have control of the ball is. If you would have had both hands underneath it, I think. But trash talk, I want to talk about these 3 stars, okay? So my number 3 is Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. I actually did think they did a very good job. Aaron Jones had 13 carries for 76 yards. He had 4 catches for 34 yards and a touchdown. He made that really nice, stab and stiff arm to get into the end zone. He dove in. He looked like a badass. A.J. Dillon, he had 11 for 59. He had a couple big boy runs, dude, running into people, just dog pile. And the one run, the first run he had in the second quarter where he cuts back. It was, a zone run where it's either this gap or this gap, right, in the A gap. And he cuts, and that safety wanted absolutely zero to do with those gigantic tree trunk legs, dude. He said, yeah, I'm just going to try to grab you. I'm like, God knows, boy.
Eddie Jackson.
You're going to sit your ass down.
Eddie
it is what it is. They had 2,435 combined. I think that's pretty good to churn that much out.
Yeah, especially against a defense like that.
Yeah, the Bears are tough, man. My second star goes to Kenny Clark and Dean Lowry. Kenny Clark basically ended the game by himself.
Yeah,
I mean, it is what it is.
He's a beast.
And Dean Lowry, it might be, if there was a most improved player award for teams, he's definitely our winner so far. And my number 1 star is Aaron Rodgers. He took what the defense gave him. We've all said it. He hit 7 different receivers in the game. He spread the ball around. The best Aaron Rodgers is when he's a little bit arrogant, I'm not going to lie, and he spreads the ball around.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Aaron Rodgers' confidence level right now is breathing through the entire team. And the most important thing that he did, Matt, is he took the souls of an entire franchise and crushed them with one saying. And I will never, ever forget that. I will never forget that.
Like, I can't imagine being in that situation where, like, you're in a crowd and everyone hates you there. They're all flipping you off, and you can still manage to just yell a few words, and then they're all just like, oh, this something.
It was funny to me when he said it, though. When I heard him, I said, wait, what did he just say? And I heard him say it again. I said, oh, this dude right here is a bad.
I can't believe it. Because, I would never, if anyone had said, hey, a quarterback in the NFL today is going to score a touchdown and yell he owns the whole franchise.
Yeah,
I would never believe it. And then to say it's Aaron Rodgers, I would never. Can you imagine, Tom Brady, or Peyton Manning back in the day? It's so unthinkable. So, even if it was against my team, and if it was Brady yelling it against the Packers, hopefully that I don't want to talk about it, but if it was against my team, I would laugh that should, dude, I don't know, that's hilarious to me. It's so funny to me.
I knew,
and I think what really did that in was stealing the discount double check on the sack, and then you knew as soon as Rodgers got even that he was flexing it.
He was.
He said that he was on McAfee. He said he didn't see it. But I don't know how he didn't see it. Like, he's got to have eyes worse than mine.
Oh, right.
He's a liar, bro. He saw that shit. That shit was right in his face, dude.
Yeah, that was right in his face. I think because I know that he said that he's friends with that guy. You know, he's like, yeah, he's like, yeah, he had to have seen it. Like,
the first thing he did, he scored. He double checked, and then he just went on with his little rant. He saw that. That's why he double checked at the end.
Yep, that's what I'm saying.
But that's what people say. Like the people like in the past, like, oh, the Bears-Packers rivalry is dead. This and that. Like, dude, the Bears-Packers rivalry to me will never be dead.
Nope.
The Vikings, they try to pretend like, no, we're the bigger rival now. Like, no, you're not. Like, it's
not.
Bears. Like, even if the Packers got their number a few, lately or whatever. But like in the 80s when I was a kid, my friend was a Bears fan. He wasn't allowed to come over on Sundays. All I can't be watching football, and then he'd come over, knock on the door, and like, get the hell out of here. He'd have a Walter Payton jersey on. Like, they literally wouldn't let him in on Sundays, and like that's how like the rivalry started, like with me, because like his family, my family, they would all get along, barbecue and stuff. But like when it came to football, like it was not a game. Like, so I don't know. I think that no one can match it. I mean, I'm sure like Steelers, Ravens, I'm sure they feel whatever they feel. But like as far as Vikings fans go, they need to like take a seat because they're like they try so hard. They're like the stepbrother that never gets invited to nothing. True. And they're just trying like, is it my turn, guys? Like, no.
We'll beat the Vikings though. We always beat the Vikings, so at least I can say that. The Bears always beat the Vikings.
I would put the Bears over the Vikings.
Yeah, we always beat the Vikings.
I mean, for as far as Packers Bears is concerned, it's the oldest rivalry in sports. So I mean, it's never going away. It's always going to be like, this is what the head-to-head is. It's close. It's within like I think it's within like 7 games now. I think the Packers have like a 7-game edge in the head-to-head. So like it's super close that within the next 10 years it could be completely different. The Bears could be back in front. Whatever happens with Rodgers and stuff like that. So like Packers Bears is always going to be a rivalry that people pay attention to. And even if it's not, super competitive football, it's still the oldest rivalry in sports.
Yeah,
but I think, for me, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. No, I was saying, but I think the players really feel it too. I was on that She's a TV show with AJ Dillon, and I asked him about it. I said, "Do players like really feel that?" Like I don't, because a lot of times they're friends, with the guys on their side because it's a job. And he's like, "No,
Allen Robinson and Devontae Adams."
Yeah, they feel that rivalry, and like I think even if it is their buddy, like they know the history of it, like they hear about it, and I'm sure the coaches talk about it on both sides. We don't want to lose. Like Bears, when they hired Lovie Smith, like just beat the Packers, like and everyone talked about that. Like I think this rivalry, it's not just with the fans, it's like the organizations love it. I think the players are all into it, and this rivalry is the best. It ain't going nowhere.
No, not at all. One of the best rivalries in sports.
Yep. Absolutely. For me, looking at 3 stars, Eric Stokes was my number 3. He was targeted 3 times. He did give up 3 receptions, but those 3 receptions only totaled 32 yards, and he only gave up 1 yard after the catch. So to me, that's Eric Stokes, kept everything in front of him. He's going against Allen Robinson, who's a good receiver. He's probably top 15 in the league. Had kind of a down year, but he's had some really inconsistent quarterback play. Number 2, I had the running backs. Jake already covered that with Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. And then number 1 for me was the D-line. I loved seeing Kenny Clark at the end of the game coming up big. And, Steve, to your point about Justin Fields, he's got a lot of potential. So I saw some things where I saw it's like, okay, Justin Fields, he can, he's made some of these throws. Their touchdown drive towards the end of the game, he made a couple throws down the middle of the field that were, NFL throws. And he's got the legs, but just a couple of mistakes that he made, throwing the ball to the back of the end zone instead of throwing it out of bounds, that obviously led to the interception. He almost had the second one to Amos, and then just taking sacks when just at times you can't take sacks. Yep. There was a 3rd down play where Garvin caught up to him and sacked him along the sideline. That's 3 or 4 yards there. That makes a difference. And then, the 3rd and long, and then the 4th down, taking 2 huge sacks into situations where you just can't take sacks. So Justin Fields, lots of potential, but he's got to clean up the mental game a little bit and the physical game a little bit, and then an offensive line, and the Bears could have something, but not there yet. So the Packers still take this one. So Steve will have to get a pie to the face eventually. I want to thank I want to thank Tyler for correcting me. I had the wrong Williams. It's Damian Williams. Darrell Williams is on Kansas City. Russell, we're going to get there. We're going to get to the pass rushers when we get into the preview a little bit. But I want to get into the Skip Bayless tweet. So, Steve, I'm going to kick this to you first, just because I want to see your point of view on it as a Bears fan about the barely outplaying a rookie quarterback, looking slower than Tom Brady, and then the typical "I own you" to Chicago. So I want to get your feelings on that tweet by Skip Bayless.
Y'all know Skip Bayless really ain't a fan of Aaron Rodgers because he's a Tom Brady. Y'all all know that, but I really don't look at it as that bad. He like you said, he played what the Bears defense gave him. The defense, like you said, played 2 safety high. They took away Devontae Adams and gave y'all the short stuff. So I just looked at it. Aaron Rodgers took what y'all gave him. That's just typical Aaron Rodgers. When you got a rivalry like that and you score and the fans booing you, throwing you the birds, and you get the last laugh, anything will come out your mouth. So as a true Bear fan, I didn't take it as disrespect. I just took it as you got to beat the guy. Like you said, he 24-5 against the Chicago Bears. He do own us. Beat us in the AFC Championship game before. So he do own. It's just Skip being Skip. Skip hate LeBron, and I think LeBron is number 1 and number 2 greatest NBA player of all time. So that's just Skip being Skip. To me, Aaron Rodgers is one of the all-time greatest quarterback that ever played the game, but he just don't have the rings as Tom Brady. So Skip being Skip, I don't look at it as nothing wrong. Just Skip being a hater, my opinion.
All right, Matt, I know you saw that. You had a pretty funny response comment to when I posted on the page, so I'll give you a chance to throw that back out there and give any other thoughts you have on that.
I have a lot of thoughts about Skip Bayless. Like I can't stand him. He's the Kardashian of sports. The Kardashian of sports, because it's just entertainment. Like I had to mute him on Twitter because he would. Like, I won't lie, he got to me. He gets to me. Like when he tweets something, I just go off on Twitter. And I'm like, cuss him all. Like I had to stop. My kids follow me. Like he just says stuff like he hates the Packers, which is one of the most franchise, right? Like most, I wouldn't say the most popular, but among the most popular franchises. He loves the Cowboys, which is among the most popular franchises. He trashes LeBron, who is the premier athlete, probably number 1, talked about athlete in the world. Like you don't hear him trashing the Dolphins. Like he goes for the big names because it gets the views, it gets the clicks. He doesn't believe half the stuff he says. Then he's posting pictures like on the internet in Cowboys gear, like laying on the floor and throwing jerseys in the toilet or in the garbage can. And he's like 65 years old. It's like, and he sets it up like he had this hat. I think that's a couple years ago. Took the Cowboys hat off, threw it in the garbage. And he has like a kitchen that's like, like better than a restaurant. But like there was like an oven in the garbage can in front of it, so he set it up. And I was like, 106. I mean, I do stupid stuff on the internet, so I shouldn't really talk. But like, he just everything he does, I don't buy anything. I think he's an actor. He's all entertainment, which I get. So like, you can't really hate the guy because he's doing his thing. He's getting paid a lot of money to do it. I would do it if they told me, "Hey, come on here and just say dumb crap." I'm like, all right, if they're gonna pay me right, like I'll say. I actually thought about doing it on my show. Like I just started saying the most stupidest stuff. Some people might say I already do, but like just it gets clicks. You just say stuff like Tom Brady sucks or LeBron is a choker, this and that. Like people are like, that's so dumb. Just like those lists they make, like every week, CBS Sports, the NFL Network, every channel has a top 5, top 10 power rankings that mean nothing. And they'll leave one team off, always. They'll drop a team like Tampa Bay or whatever team, and they'll drop them like 8. And so everyone gets all crazy, like, are you stupid? They're all in the comments. It brings the algorithm. Everyone sees the post. And it's all for sure. But Skip Bayless, has a special place where I just like I would like to. I wouldn't do anything physical. First of all, he works out, so his old ass. I'm very top heavy, you know. But I don't take it serious. So.
All right, Jake. What do you think about the tweet before I really get into it and rip this apart?
I didn't say anything about what he said. I just trashed him. But
That's all right.
I hate Skip Bayless because I love the Packers. And if you see this tattoo right here, it is actually for LeBron. LeBron is my favorite athlete of all time. So he hates the two things that I love the most. I have a tattoo for the Packers as well. So I have two tattoos for the things I love the most. And he hates them. So I've always hated Skip Bayless. And I'm cussing at my TV. I can't anymore because, you know, like Matt said, I have kids now. So now I have to be a respectful human being. But it's like, dude, if I had Twitter, I don't know if I'd be able to hold it back, by the way.
I just
I hate that guy. He's garbage. He just says garbage. And he was a Tebow fan. Remember when Tebow first came out?
He's better than Rodgers, he said.
I said, this man, he got to retire, dude. First of all, he's like 170,000 years old. I don't understand how he's still alive. But, like, I'm trying to hold back right now because I really, really hate Skip Bayless. He ruined my entire high school childhood because he was just talking shit about LeBron.
Yeah, because we used to always, like, you hear what he said, and then you're like, oh, I got to watch First Take because the Packers did good. So that's what it is. Because, like, if you're a Packers fan, Skip Bayless trashes the team. Like, there's no way the Packers beat this team this week, right? And then you're like, he's wrong. The Packers are going to win. So then the Packers win. And then you're like, oh, I want to hear what he's got to say now because the Packers won. So you get all those viewers. And then they lose. Everyone who hates the Packers, like, oh, Skip was right. Now he's going to bury him. We all got to watch. That's what the whole thing is. Like, the thing with LeBron, I'm not even a basketball guy, but, like, how can you, like, really hate LeBron? Like, I get, like, sports, like, he plays for the team you don't like and rivals and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, just, like, LeBron does good things. Like, he makes the earth better. Like, all the money and stuff he does, I don't know. I couldn't hate on LeBron, even if he was, like, a rival. Like, I'm not a huge basketball guy. I like the Bucks because I live in Wisconsin and I'm glad they do well. But I'm not like, you know, like diehard. I didn't like claim that championship. Like, yeah, we finally did it because I wasn't there. When, you know, I mean, I watched, but you know, I mean, like not like passion like that.
Oh, look at Steve putting on a Packers jersey. We should have done this from the beginning. That should have been part of the bet.
Matt, I will explain why people hate LeBron. People hate LeBron because he's better than their favorite player.
Yeah, he's better than every favorite player.
That's why people hate LeBron.
I like that. That looks good on you.
He is, dude. He's gonna go down.
I was thinking that looks good on you, Steve.
It does.
We gotta get you a cheesehead and some fan locks to go with.
My girl jersey I bought for. I lost the bet, so I had to buy it.
Man, you're losing all the bets, dog.
Oh yes, I lost a lot of bets that day. I had to go to work the next day.
I respect it though, because someone who like stands by a team and then will not even just talk words, but like actually make a bet. Because people at work will do that. They'll be like, "Oh, Packers are gonna lose," and then I'll be like, "Let's bet. Let's do something." And like, "Oh, I'm not gonna do all that." Well, then
always bet. One thing about me, I'm a diehard Bear fan, but also I'm a realistic fan too. Sometimes you got to be realistic as a sport fan too. If you know your team really ain't that good and you see a lot they need to improve in, it's just like I call it. Like I said, the Packers gonna win the division again. But like I tell Jake and like I tell Tyler all the time, every year when I go against them, the Packers are a great regular season team, but they're gonna let the city of Wisconsin down when it counts. So.
Yeah, the Packer fans have like the most bruised heart.
Yep. So, y'all might go 12-4 again, but when the playoff time come around, I'm gonna get the last laugh as a Bear fan. I'm gonna get the last laugh. Y'all know it too.
Yeah. So, I think I'm the most optimistic fan that every year I'm like, it'll be different.
Yup. I do the same shit, man. Yeah. I'm like, this is the year number 2.
It's the meme. It's the meme where it's like, I'm ready to have my heart broken again.
Yeah.
Every September, bro.
It's coming. I can't wait. I'm going to get the last laugh. Y'all might 0-2 us again this year, but I'm going to get the last laugh as a Bear fan because I'm going to be sitting at home watching the Super Bowl with y'all. I'm watching.
All right. So Skip Bayless, first thing he said was Rodgers didn't even have 200 yards. He had 195. And Devontae Adams had a tiptoed on the sideline that was this far off from being like a 45-yard touchdown. That would have put him over 200 yards. It would have taken away his rushing touchdown, but that would have put him over 200 passing yards. He only had 17 completions on 23 pass attempts, which is a high, that's a 74% completion rate. Then he also added 7 rushes. So out of 57 total plays for the Packers, Rodgers was 30 of them with the 27 or the 23 passes and the 7 rushes. So Rodgers was over half of the Packers offense. And then on top of that, we already covered how effective the running game was. So that already, you didn't need a ton of passing yards because the run game was effective and what Rodgers did was effective. Barely outplaying the rookie quarterback. This was probably the worst part of the tweet because, like we said, Justin Fields showed a lot of potential, but he's not near Aaron Rodgers' level yet.
No.
Rodgers had the 195 yards. Justin Fields had 174. He only had 1 less completion, but he also had 4 more attempts. So Rodgers was at 74%. Fields was just under 60%. Obviously, the less yards. Justin Fields only had 1 touchdown and no rushing touchdowns. Rodgers had 2 passing and a rushing touchdown. Rodgers had a quarterback rating of 80.1. Justin Fields was 40.6, almost double the quarterback rating. And then the passer rating of 128, and Fields was at 75. Then you get to the turnovers. Justin Fields had the interception to Darnell Savage in the back of the end zone, almost had a second one to Adrian Amos in the back of the other end zone. Aaron Rodgers, no turnovers. Justin Fields had a couple fumbled snaps too. Some of them weren't his fault, but it happened at least twice.
Yeah.
And then the sacks. The sacks is a big thing here too, because Rodgers was sacked 3 times by a really good front 7 and some really good pass rushers that Chicago has. Justin Fields was facing a team just ravaged by injuries and was stacked 4 times and took 2 terrible sacks in situations that you can't take sacks in. So the whole part of that tweet where he says he barely outplayed the rookie quarterback, that is probably the most garbage part of that entire tweet.
Yeah.
And
even comparing, like if you're gonna compare like Aaron Rodgers to a rookie quarterback, like Patrick Mahomes, you wouldn't compare like Patrick Mahomes to Justin Fields or whoever. Like even that putting them both in the same tweet, the way he did it, and the whole like yards thing is stupid. Like Aaron Rodgers has played games where he had 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, and they lose by 3 in overtime because the defense failed. And then they're like, oh, Rodgers, failed or whatever. But then when they have a, defense does their thing a little bit, Rodgers doesn't have all the stats and they win, and then they still going to trash him because his numbers don't look fancy. Like, it doesn't matter what your numbers look like. If you win, let's say win despite you. Like, if you have 3 fumbles and an interception and the defense is getting pick 6, and so you win, the quarterback can't flex. But like if you don't turn it over, you like doing what you're supposed to do, and the way he did it, like that rushing touchdown really topped it off for like that was a baller ass game. Man. Without that, I can see people saying it wasn't Rodgers standards, but with that rushing touchdown, that's all I remember. Like I did a few podcasts, people like, oh, the game, I was like, all I know is that rushing touchdown. That was beautiful. I just love Rodgers running the ball ever, except for I don't want him to get smacked. But like when he runs that little corner end zone thing, like it's like art to me. I love it.
He did the same thing against the Rams in the playoffs. The same exact play.
Yes.
Yeah. Remember Brett Favre?
He did a little pump fake and that one. He always has to hold the ball out.
Yeah, he always holds it out. When Favre had that one against the Falcons, I think it was the Falcons. He ran. And he would. They told him, they said, no matter what, don't hold the ball. You either snap it, and if it's not there, you throw it out of the back end zone because it was like goal line thing. And then he snapped the ball and rolled right because there was like no time left to kick a field goal. And then he ran, but he like turned sideways and he like barely just got drilled, but he got the touchdown. It's hard to explain, but I love quarterbacks like run and not just like run up the middle like quarterbacks seem to like rolling around. I love it because like it's like. Especially like in those situations when a close game, it's art to me. Like I like Mike Vick back in the day.
Poof.
Except when he's playing the Packers at Lambeau Field.
But the frustrating thing about it though to me that it never failed when he played the Bears. What killed me with our linebackers, he is over their line. Why is you going for the pump fake? Like,
oh my!
I
Every time
I'm looking at the TV screaming like, don't fall for the pump fake. Don't fall for the pump fake. He throw the pump fake, you fall for a touchdown. I'm sitting at the TV like, I'm gonna broke my TV, man. Like every time it's this pump fake he kills with. And he's above the line. He can't throw the football. So
yeah, he does it all the way down the field too. He's just down the field too.
He's running down the field, pump faking the ball, and they are still jumping in the air. I'm like, come on, y'all really gotta be kidding me with this. Like, just get rid of the whole the whole linebackers right now, man. Y'all just killing me right now. Like, just get rid of them.
Steve commented that if Jordan Love had the same stat line as Justin Fields, Skip would be chirping a different tune. I feel like the court of a public opinion wants Justin Fields to be good and Jordan Love to be a bust just for the sake of flipping the dynamic of the NFC North just to have more things to talk about. For me, we don't know what Jordan Love is because he hasn't had the playing time yet. So it's just Jordan Love is still a question mark. Justin Fields is getting his feet wet. He's showing some potential. But I feel like the way that the Packers have been the last 30 years with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, I feel like the court of public opinion wants the NFC North to be be ran by somebody else.
Oh, it's gonna flip.
And
it's coming.
The thing is, like, even with Justin Fields, I still don't think that like, you got a glimpse, but like, look at Eli Manning in his first year, like Peyton Manning, like so many quarterbacks, like especially back in the day, were horrible the first year. I mean, both those guys were expected to be great. So everyone's like, yeah, they're gonna suck for a minute, but they're gonna be great. And that game all the time, no pressure. Eli was horrible that first year. Like, that was fun to watch. Packers played him that first year. He was just atrocious. But everyone's like, no, he's gonna be great. But now it's like a quarterback throws an interception in week 2. They're like, oh, bye, bust. Like, this guy ain't gonna do it. Or like, Jordan Love is the most hated player that's never touched the grass. Like, he barely did dressing this year. I think Jordan Love, I don't know what he's going to be. Like, people asking, like, do you think he's going to be good? Like, dude, I'm the last person. I have
no idea.
But y'all got to realize it, though. Matt LaFleur, whatever his last name, he's a really good coach, though. He is a really good coach.
Yes,
I think Matt Nagy is not a quarterback coach to me. I think Matt Nagy want to be so bad like Andy Reid, and he want to be like Kansas City so bad. But the things that he's doing with the Bears offense, like, he have talent on the offensive side of the ball. You have the receivers.
Yep, he really does.
You have the number 1 receiver with Robinson, but you're not giving him a chance. Like, the play caller that you putting this young quarterback in, I think it's not for him to be successful. It's like you putting him in there to get killed so you can go back to Andy Dalton or Nick Foles. You know what I'm saying? Not putting him in a position to win. We know he's going to make mistakes. We're going to know he's going to do some things that rookie quarterbacks do. That's the NFL. Every rookie quarterback, they first year struggle or go wrong with what they do. So put them in the positions to win and let them throw the ball around and see what you got. That's the only way you can know what you got is with him. But with Jordan Love, he got Matt LaFleur. I think he's really going to be good when he come around when it's his time to play, because that's a great offensive mind coach y'all got over there. It's a great offensive mind coach.
Yeah, the thing with Jordan Love too is I always say, like, if he is good, if he does have it, he's in a perfect situation. He's got Aaron Rodgers to learn from. He's got good coaches. Because I think the key thing about quarterbacks is, like, if you have a veteran, that's like obviously a plus. But it's good quarterbacks. They have good quarterbacks coach. Like Favre had Holmgren when they had that special relationship. Rodgers and McCarthy in his early days, they had a quarterback school. It seemed to work, but like, I'm not sure that the Bears have that. But
nope, we don't.
A lot of those good quarterbacks have that coach that is, like, good at quarterbacking and
he behind Andy Dalton. Come on, man.
If they bench Justin Fields for, like, Andy Dalton and Nick Foles, I think that's a huge mistake. I think once you put a rookie quarterback in,
you got to play.
You got to leave him in.
If you pull him out, that could ruin. I don't know if it would ruin his confidence, but it would just be a mess. Like, usually I think it would ruin his confidence. I think he's got more confidence in that. Like, when he said the game seems kind of slow for me, and, like, I think it was preseason, everyone was trolling him. I thought that was great. Because, like, people talk about quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers arrogant. Like, you can't have a quarterback other like, I think I'm kind of good. We'll see what happens. Like, you need a quarterback that's saying, I'm legit. I'm great. Yeah. Like, they all say, like, got to Peyton Manning, all these guys, Tom Brady. Like Tom Brady's not saying "gee shucks." I don't want no rookie quarterback coming in like I'm going to do my best and see what happens.
He's 2-2 as a rookie so far. So
yeah,
he ain't like the other rookies right now that's struggling. He's 2-2. So I take that so far.
See, and I think Cincinnati really put a blueprint together for what to do with a rookie quarterback, and they put him out there and said, just go for it, just full send, just do what you do, and we'll adjust, we'll put some pieces around you next year. If Chicago's in a position next year with some cap, I'm not sure what Chicago's cap situation is like, but if they can put if they can put an offensive line together and then draft, I think a slot receiver would benefit Chicago a lot to have a guy who can be a possession receiver. Like Allen Robinson is kind of that, but like a Keenan Allen type, or a Tyler Boyd or a Deontay Johnson, a guy that can move the sticks like that. Yep. They already have a good all-around wide receiver in Allen Robinson. They, like we mentioned, Marquis Goodwin, who's a good downfield wide receiver, slot receiver, and an offensive line. And the Bears could be a much different team next year. But right now we're still in the building stage.
I think Mooley is a good slot receiver. Just you got to put him in a position to. I think we got a couple of good slot receivers. Like again, you have to put your players in position to be successful. Like the Packers, they put receivers. Like y'all had D3 receivers coming to play with y'all that looked really good because your head coach put them in positions to win. Like he don't put the receivers like we got some good tight ends over there. Like you don't put them in positions to be successful. So it make us look worse than what we is on offense than what we really is. And that's my big thing with Matt Nagy.
Yeah, the Packers kind of do that with cornerbacks. Like years. Like remember, what was that? I forget his name, Gutner or something. I forget.
Ladarius Gunter.
Ladarius Gunter.
Yeah, people were trashing him because he got smoked by, I think it was Julio Jones. Like, this dude was on the practice squad.
Right.
He was playing number 1 corner against Julio. He got burned 7 times or whatever. Well, Julio supposed to.
Julio Jones.
It's like him being at the park, rolling up to the park and hey, you want to play some ball? And he's like, okay. Right. That's what it was. It was nothing for him. He was just holding his hand up. And
that's crazy.
Bro, Ladarius did a great job in that playoffs. He had to go from Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah, he did. All he did.
Amari Cooper and then Julio Jones. Yeah. That's tough, bro. In 2016.
He got roasted. You give up. That's the thing about being a corner, though. You could shut him down the whole game, which he didn't do it against them, but he did good. But one play, and it'll be against a top receiver, even Devontae Adams, a guy will hold him off a little. He doesn't have any breakout play. When you have a receiver like that you're playing against, all you want is not a 70-yard bomb and
you don't want to be on ESPN the next day.
You got ankles. Especially Devontae with his route running. I bet corners think about that.
Yes, they do.
I don't want to be on here with my ankles and laying on the ground, and there's going to be a picture of me laying on the ground while Devontae Adams is just running away. Yeah, it's nobody wants that in their life.
I was thinking about that. I was thinking about the playoffs. I know it was only week 5 or week 6, but listen to this. I was like, bro, I really hope that Diggs for the Cowboys keeps doing well because he's giving up all these yards. He keeps getting picks, and everybody just keeps forgetting about the yards, right? I want the Cowboys meet the Packers so bad so Devontae can cook him for 3 touchdowns.
Don't they play this year?
Not staying with Devontae.
Do they play this year?
No, not this year.
But the way it's looking, they might play in the playoffs.
Yep, y'all go in the playoffs.
I hope he matches up with Devontae because you give up a lot of yards, my guy.
He do.
Yeah, the Cowboys probably will make the playoffs. I argue with so many fan bases on the internet. And his Cowboys fan was like, we're going to go to the NFC Championship game, this and that. I'm like, you'll probably go to the playoffs because you have a fast start, which they do every now and again, every 10 years.
In a very bad division.
You'll coast off and start to suck, but the division you're in is just atrocious. They shouldn't even give it to them. And not that the NFC North is some powerhouse this year or whatever. The Lions haven't won a game yet. But, yeah, I can't talk. The NFC East, was it last year or whatever? They were just trying to we don't even know who's going to win this thing.
The Giants,
dude, 7 and 9 might have got you in the playoffs last year.
Yeah. I think it did. I think that.
To each other, man.
Yeah, it was if they win this week, they're going to win it. Like, if they win, now it's like if this team loses and that team wins.
Yeah, I have a question though. I seen Stephen A. Smith, not to get off.
It was like week 11.
I got a question though. I seen it off topic though. I seen something.
It was like week 11 last year. Go ahead.
I seen Stephen A. talking about something on First Take. Was it yesterday or the day before?
Go ahead, Steve.
The Packers should trade for Odell with Devontae Adams. What do y'all think of that?
I think if they're going to be trade for people, I don't think I would love it. Like if it was happening, but I don't think that they would use anything because they need. I think in their eyes that wide receiver isn't a huge need for them because I think they're doing all right there. But like if you did have Devontae Adams and Odell Beckham on a team, like because I think Odell, like people think that Odell is done. He's not done. Especially
I want him out of Cleveland.
He's gonna get favorable stuff, but I'm not sure that they would unless they got him on the cheap. But I think his contract is crazy too. Yeah. I'm not sure what his contract. I think it's probably steep.
Yeah, I think he's done after this year, though, if I'm not mistaken. I think this is last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's a free agent.
Yeah, free agent next year.
Yep, he's a free agent.
It might not have been really crazy expensive, but like I don't know. I don't. They did some stuff today. I don't think that they'll go for wide receiver. I think that they like who they have. But yeah, that would be crazy. That'd be like some Madden stuff. That's the stuff I do in Madden. When I play Madden, I'd have all types of. It would be like some old receiver, but like it was like I would just have fun. It'd just be like some really great, But yeah, I think it'd be crazy fun because they can't leave Devontae alone, and then Odell, he would just. He'd probably come play for free. Like, hey, I'll play for free. Just let me have one season. I'll get paid next year.
For real. I would too. Come play 1 year with Rodgers and get that. That'd be crazy though. But the Packers going down further. They get to within the season of going further in the playoffs. They're gonna need another receiver to step up because Randall Cobb is. What's the point of going to get him? He ain't did nothing yet, other than having that one game he had 2 touchdowns.
He's a third down safety valve, is what Randall Cobb is. Yeah. As far as Odell Beckham Jr. is concerned, I just don't see it as terribly realistic because I feel like Cleveland would ask for probably a 3rd round pick for him, and the Packers showed they weren't willing to give a second for Julio Jones, so they're not going to give a 3rd rounder for Odell Beckham Jr. Yeah, I see a guy like Brandon Cooks being a more realistic target, just because he's on. Houston's not going to be asking for a ton for him because they're obviously not in a position to contend. We're actually going to talk a little bit about Houston when we get into the Washington football game because I have a little bit of a connection to make there, but. Steve, thank you for joining us. Do you have anything else Bears related but you want to drop?
We beat y'all in Lambeau. We get our revenge back from Rodgers.
This is actually the nicest I've talked about the Bears ever on a podcast. I've been trashing Bears fans so hard, and it's funny because this one dude I was talking to earlier, and then he's like, "I'm not even a Bears fan. I'm a Bucks fan." I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about? You were just." And I know most Bears fans ain't like that. I know a lot of Bears fans that go back and forth on Instagram, and they're loyal. I respect Bears fans. Like Viking fans, I really don't respect. They just whiny little rat. But Bears fans are loyal. They're just like Packer fans. They just root for the wrong team. And there's history. They're not like what I mean. Like they have championships back in the day. Like not even counting Super Bowls or whatever. Like they're older. Like they're just like the Packers, and their fans are loyal. But they're the most fun to trash. Because the fans are so fun because they don't take it serious or they're not like gonna come like Viking fans like I'm gonna come to your house and cut your throat. I'm like, whoa, bro, bad quarterback. You don't gotta be all serious. I did have a few Bear fans tell me if you ever come to Chicago, you won't make it out of the airport. I'm like, I wouldn't go to Chicago anyways, just because I just all it takes is one Bear fan to see me like one of my stupid videos dance around singing the Bears still suck. Like, dude, I can go viral beating the hell out of this dude. Right. Like, Packer fan beat down in O'Hare Airport. And I need good. Like, I'm not a good fighter, so I wouldn't even get beat up good. I'd be crying like, I'd be screaming. I wouldn't even get beat up with dignity. Just take it. Well, I'd be calling, I'm a dad, 911. Get this man off me. But but Bears fans are all right. Don't let it get out there. I don't want everyone to know.
All right, Steve. Thanks for joining us. So we look forward to having you back soon, so you can take that pie in the face.
Yep, appreciate it. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing. I love watching y'all show every time y'all come on. So keep doing what y'all doing.
Good to meet you, man.
Yes, sir. Same here.
Talk to you later, Steve.
Yep.
All right. So I kind of teased this a little bit. Now we're going to move into the Packers versus the Washington football team. I mentioned this a little bit just because right before the show started, I started seeing some rumors of this is going to connect, I promise, of Houston being in advanced talks with Miami for trading Deshaun Watson to the Miami Dolphins. Now, this ties in, I promise. This is something that said that could be done by the end of the week, and then the next notification that I got said that it sounds like a 3-team trade that might send Tua Tagovailoa to the Washington football team. Now, this is a really interesting thing because Tua's been up and down. He's had some highs, had some lows. They just lost in Jacksonville and London, so Miami's kind of in flux. But it sounds like they're still interested in Deshaun Watson, and they might be sending Tua to Washington. So this Washington offense, it's okay. It's basically Scary Terry and Antonio Gibson, who might not play. Didn't practice today, so we're kind of unsure if Antonio Gibson's going to play. But I'm curious your guys' thoughts on what Tua Tagovailoa could mean to the Washington football offense versus the Packers defense if that trade were to happen.
But would he, even if it did happen, would he even play? Could he just jump in there?
I mean, Ron Rivera's a decent coach, but probably not. But I mean, I guess it's up to them. If that deal gets done today and he's in Washington tomorrow, maybe. But just in general,
I think it'd be tough to get going. But even if he did, I think the Packers would win by 30. I'm a very realist fan too. No, but
start calling you Skip Ramage.
Packers by 30 every time. Who they play, I don't care. But
you like that meme?
Packers in 4.
Yeah, right. That'll be like, and instead of Bucks and 6. Oh, that's kind of a thing on Twitter. Everyone says Packers by 30. But I do think it's interesting, like that trade, because I was listening to it on the radio. On my way home, I think it was Mad Dog Radio or whatever it was. And I think it's interesting because, if they trade him, are there going to be clause in there in case if there's criminal stuff and all the stuff he's going through, he does get suspended? Because if you give up 3 picks and dude then the next day goes to prison or whatever, then that's not obviously ideal. I think there's got to be some clause in there for that. And it's interesting because that they said that they want a player too. They wonder is it going to be him? Because they were saying that same thing. Is it going to be him? Is there someone else that we're not thinking about? But I think everyone assumes that's who it's going to be. But yeah, I think that trade is going to be if this goes through, could be one of the biggest trades that we're going to see in the NFL in a long time. I don't know how much it means for Washington this week because I don't think that it's not like Madden where you can just plug a guy in, but it's a fun thing to talk about. Unless who is the Washington quarterback?
Taylor Heineke.
Yeah, so I don't know anything about Washington. I don't think I've watched one Washington, but yeah, I do remember now that that's the quarterback. But I don't think I've watched one They don't interest me at all. They're in the NFC East, the worst division ever, and they just don't matter.
Why would a team with no name interest you?
Yeah, it's I don't know what to call it. But they yeah, so maybe they would just for the hell of it. Hey, what else we got to lose?
We got nothing to lose, and yeah,
let's throw him in. He gets his head cut off.
We'll go back to Heineke.
But the thing is, because not knowing the plays, and how to get everyone in position. But maybe they're not doing that right now, anyways. So I think that Heineke, he had that one run. I think it might have been a playoff game.
Yep.
Everyone was like, "Oh, that's the greatest thing ever," and cool for him. But that was the highlight of your career, dude. It's all downhill from here.
So
Heineke
for the one,
is a tough guy. He's a tough
yeah.
guy. Sorry to cut you off. He's more of he can lead your team and bring toughness in the locker room, and we're going to grind this out. And that was kind of their identity, the team last year when they had a defense. But their defense is just so atrocious now. I was telling Tyler, before you joined, I was like, dude, that is one of the biggest flips in the wrong direction I've ever seen in my entire life. Like they went from like, oh shit, Washington is a defense, Chase Young's a beast, and he's still a beast. He can run so fast for how big he is. But they're just so terrible now. I cannot believe it. And they screwed me in fantasy, so screw you. I hope Rodgers throws 7 touchdowns.
He's gonna.
So for Washington's offense, they started the year with a healthy Logan Thomas, who's on IR. They started with Antonio Gibson, who's a really solid second-year running back. That's unsure if he's going to play. And they have Scary Terry McLaurin. He's really the only guy on their offense that concerns me. And with how Eric Stokes has played the last few weeks against some of the guys that he's played against, just the last 2 weeks, he's gone against Allen Robinson and Jamar Chase, and he's done a pretty solid job. Yeah. And a guy like Terry McLaurin is a guy you just got to keep in front of you. So if Eric Stokes can do that again, this is really weird to say, but it could actually be a long day for Washington going against this Packers defense. And now, just today, I don't think it's going to happen this weekend, but they added Whitney Merciless, who has probably what I would say is the most badass last name in all of professional sports. But adding him to a pass rush that already is playing like way overachieving with the guys that they're missing. And Dean Lowry, like Jake said, has been a very improved player. And then, adding Whitney Merciless, who's probably not going to play this week, but, a capable pass rush. And then we know what we have in the secondary with Amos, and Stokes is playing. I mean, he's done everything you could ask for him, especially from a rookie cornerback. And we'll see if Kevin King plays. I mean, Washington's receivers outside of Scary Terry aren't really anything to be concerned about. And, like I said, no Logan Thomas. I don't know if Darnell Savage is going to play yet. Don't know if Kevin King's going to play yet. But really, it's going to be Eric Stokes on Scary Terry. And other than that, like, Washington's offense could have a hard time moving the ball.
Yeah, I think they're going to – like I say, I don't know a ton about them, but that's because they suck. And they're not worthy of knowing things about. I think the Packers, like, literally, because actually, like, I heard someone else talk about this. Like, if the Packers did blow out Washington, like, just like one of those 56-10 games or whatever, just lit them up. And it's actually, I don't think, not that great for the Packers to do that because they have some really tough games coming up. And, like, I don't think that players get like that, but it seems like sometimes, like, they start to feel who they are. But, like, they got, like, was it Arizona?
Yep, Arizona, Kansas City coming up.
Arizona is a very, very good football team. Kansas City obviously is too. But Arizona is, I've watched some of them, like that's a good ass team. That's a team that is gonna do some damage. So maybe it's good practice just to be able to whoop up on Washington. You don't want them
get a confidence builder.
Thinking they're the best thing in the world. And I think that they know how good Arizona is. I don't think anyone's going to play Arizona thinking, well, this will be an easy one. Like anyone who watches film, they'll know.
The thing about Arizona is their offense is just so good. And with our defense being banged up, it's going to be tough. We have to go out west. It's a Thursday night game. That'll be tough. Just going out west is tough, and then you got to go against a team that throws up 35 points a game. That's going to be incredibly tough for us.
Yeah.
But the Packers can do it, man. We got Aaron Rodgers, man. Aaron Rodgers just makes me believe every week. He does.
Yeah, I always believe. Especially this defense, the way they're playing with all the injuries, and even the whole team with all the injuries, they're still winning. They're 5-1. Like if you told people like beginning of the year, hey, the Packers, Zadarius Smith can be out, Jair's gonna miss some time, like the offensive line, like what it is, David Bakhtiari. I mean, that was kind of known, but like people want
Elton Jenkins missed some games. Josh Myers has missed a game and a half.
Yeah, nobody would think 5-1. Like maybe me, because I'm the most biased fan ever. Like still undefeated. Especially if you told them all that after week 1.
and Devondre Campbell is going to be one of the best linebackers in the league through the first 6 weeks.
You could have won some money if you gamble. Throw some money on that.
Man, you could have won a lot of money. He's the number 1 rated linebacker in football right now.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, it's wild because I saw on Twitter they're saying Packers have the number 1 rated linebacker in football. Who'd have thought that? Like
nobody. Never ever have I seen that before in my life. I'm like,
so let's flip it to the Packers offense, which is always fun to talk about. And before I talk about the thing that I want to hammer on, that I always do, I want to give Jake and Matt a chance to talk about the Packers offense versus Washington's defense. Jake, I know you already kind of mentioned some things about it, but Packers offense, let's talk about it.
Well, MVS didn't practice today. We were talking about the defense before, but I saw that Darnell Savage and Kevin King didn't practice today. So Wednesday they kind of just hold guys out. It's light work, anyways. You really find a lot of stuff out on Thursdays and Fridays.
Yep.
But with that being said, I'm gonna go over some rankings real quick. Just on Washington defense, they give up 423 yards total. That's a shit ton. They give up 309 passing. That's the worst in the league.
That's a
They
lot.
give up 113.5 yards in the rush, and then they give up 31 points per game. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't destroy them, if I don't see Devontae Adams have 12 catches for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns, I'm going to lose my shit. I'm going to lose my shit. This is a game. It's one of those games. The one thing that I really want, bottom line, is no injuries. Because it doesn't seem like we make it out of a game without freaking injury happening. Darnell and Josh Myers were last week. It's like, let's just kick their ass. Let's get through this game, injury free, and then we'll be good to go. That's what I want.
Yeah. I say that that their defense is horrible, and the Packers are going to destroy them. But the Packers offense seemed like they're kind of switching up. Like Randall Cobb has a game. Lazard did a few things. Like I could see someone popping off like Lazard for 100 yards receiving, or like just some random player like EQ or
Tanyan game, dude.
Yeah.
Bobby, he actually had some passes that were overthrown because Tunion's not having the year he had last year or whatever. But I think that for this week, just run the ball a lot because I think that's key to the offense and just sling it. Like you're playing this is like you're playing Madden on rookie. It should be. So they shouldn't think that way, but I can. Because people always say can't look past them. Like I can. I don't play.
It's kind of hard not to look past when we got to go play an undefeated team. I want to give them that first L, man.
Yeah, dude, I think the Packers are going to let them. There's no reason they shouldn't. If they don't, then they need to get their their shit right. But I think that they're going to win easily. I think defense is going to have a field day. They're going to be pumped up, motivated, and hopefully that helps them to go into these tough games. But hopefully it doesn't make them too cocky. I don't think it will.
First of all, we just had back-to-back road games, so being back at home is going to give them automatic juice.
Yeah,
and they're wearing the alternate jerseys, so
the new jerseys this week.
Yeah, I think everything's pointing for the Packers to just destroy them.
We should.
I should go to that game just so I could witness that.
Hey, I was going to ask you, are you going to go to the Bears game in Lambeau?
I'm not sure. I'm not even sure what games are going to because sometimes games pop up last minute. But I'm thinking about that one. I was thinking about it with some people for the Bears game. That I think that'd be awesome.
Me and Tyler got offered tickets from this guy I know, so we're thinking about going. That would be sweet if we could meet you there, man.
Yeah. I only went to one Bears game before, and this was 2019, and I was up in the box. Someone offered me tickets. Someone was like, "Hey, you want to go to the Pack game with me?" I'm, yeah, I will. And then I didn't know that it was up in the box. It wasn't like a suite. It was one of the seats up there or whatever. And I didn't know we were going up there. I didn't know where to sit. I don't ask someone if they want to go to the game. I don't where the tickets are. No, I just whatever. I'll go. It's free, whatever. And then I'm all bundled up because it's wintertime, And I got a hat. I got 3 pairs of socks on. I'm all geared up, extra pants. And then you go to the seats and we're getting on the elevators and we're going up. Man, I was sweating 5 minutes. I was like, woo, it's 100 degrees in here. I'm stripping down. But then that dude I went with, he had a personal thing happen on his phone. And he's like, I got to go. I have a family thing. And I was like, oh, hopefully everything's all right, whatever. So he left. And I was alone. So I didn't even sit in my seat. I just stood because in between all the seats, there's a space. And I just sat there and drank beer by myself. It was like, woo! Stood there I was in my living room watching. And it was the end zone seat. So it was a great time. It's weird being at a game by yourself, especially in that where I was. You can't even hear the crowd or anything. But that was my only Packer Bear game I've been to. I had fun, but I think it's more fun being in the very cold that day. I saw people down there shivering, and I was up there sweating like, woo, shouldn't have worn that.
I went to the Packers 49ers playoff game where they beat us in Lambeau, where Randall Cobb scored that touchdown on like 4th down or whatever. Dude, that game was so cold. I got hot chocolate, right? Got that shit in the second quarter. I was so cold, I was like frozen to my seat. I didn't try to take another drink of that till midway through the third. The son of a bitch was frozen. I said, well, guess I'm not drinking that, dude. I was frozen to my seat. That was the second coldest game in Packers history.
Yeah, I don't like the cold like that. I mean, I like cold. I'd rather cold than heat. I don't like. I mean, just like general. I don't like Arizona heat. Like I wouldn't do that. Like I couldn't handle that. But yeah, being at Lambeau, like I was there one time and it was raining like sideways, and then it stopped raining, and then it got really cold, and then so everyone froze. Like you were sitting there like freezing, and it was not a good time.
Dude,
we lost.
That was need to hammer beers. The Busch Light's supposed to give you the power, man.
I remember sitting there. Steve Smith torched the Packers that day. That was a long time ago. And I was like, I mean, it was fun because all Packer games are fun, but it was like we're losing, getting rained on, and Steve Smith dancing in the end zone every 5 minutes.
Miserable
workout.
All right, so I got to do it because I've been saying it. I'm going to hammer on it every week. I got to do the third down report. Packers last week were 2 for 8 on third downs and allowed 4 for 11. The Packers need to be better on third downs on both sides of the ball. Still, I'm going to probably end up saying this every week until we get to the playoffs and it kills us in the NFC Championship game again like it did last year. But Washington converts 34% of their third downs, so that's good for the Packers that they're not as successful on third down. And they all, this is bad. This is probably also with Jake's stats about them being like the league worst. They allow 57.78% conversions on third downs. So if there's a game for the Packers to get right on third downs, this is it.
Yeah.
This is to get you your confidence booster heading into Arizona. So that's what I'm looking for. So I want to get some score predictions from you guys.
Hey, but before we do that, you know who's good on third down? The Vikings.
Randall Cobb.
No, I keep seeing this post from Viking fans. They're like, oh, the Vikings are whatever, like some good, they're good on third down. And so I see his post. That's all they got to brag about. Like, what else are they doing? So then I just comment on every single one I see, and I just write 3-3, like the record. And I just do this over and over on Instagram, on Facebook, everywhere. Because, like, dude, can you imagine that your team, that's your bragging
claim
right?
of success.
Yeah, that's what you're holding on to.
Someone's like, yeah, my team won. We're, leading the division. Like, have you seen us on third down? Like, we sunk the rest of the game. We win half the time, but on third down, you better believe it. We're pretty good.
You guys are screwed on third down, man.
First and
I wish
second.
we could start on third down. We're going to spike the ball twice just to get to third down.
No, but, score prediction. I'm going to go high at this one. I'm going to say 45-10.
Ooh.
That's pretty close to mine, actually.
Dude, I make like 16 score predictions a week. Like I'll do a podcast.
One of them's going to be right.
Yeah, I'll do and I don't mean to. It's just like, it's like at that moment, that's what I feel. Because I'm not like an analyst where I'm like breaking it down. Well, I think Randall Cobb's going to have this. I think this. Like I seen a Bears fan last week say Justin Fields going to throw 4 touchdowns and they're going to win 21-0. I'm like, bro, your math does not add up.
You said 4 touchdowns, 21-0?
Yeah, he said Justin Fields going to score 4 touchdowns and they're going to win 21-0. I'm like, I'm not a mathematician, but I don't know if that's right. I don't know if that's possible.
Listen, man, if you're a football fan, you should know what 4 touchdowns is, okay?
Yeah,
Football is literally the only reason I can count by sevens.
I know that.
That's why. Reason.
That's why whenever I have a rummage sale, I don't sell none. $7, everything.
Jesus Christ. That was funny as shit. That was funny.
I don't have $1, so I have a $7 store. I know how to count. Like, just imagine, like, if you're like a Lions fan, you couldn't do that. Because then
you'd have to have a $3 store.
Yeah, because you get to 21, like, I don't even know what happens after that. I've never had
That's 7 field goals.
We never scored 3 touchdowns in a game.
That's funny as hell, bro.
Yeah, I can go by threes, 3, 6, 9. We're good there. Get to 12.
Vikings fans can't go by 3 because they never have a kicker.
Yeah, Vikings fans cannot. Dude, just imagine being a Vikings fan, like with these kicks. Like, dude, if you're a Vikings fan and they go to kick a field goal to win the game, like, dude, I can't imagine the feel. It's like the NFC Championship game every week for them. As far as like the stress level, their kicker trots on the field and they gotta just be chugging beer. I don't know how they cope. Because, like, dude,
Bro,
I would
the
have
anxiety level is insane over there. I already know. Imagine the anxiety. Oh shit, we're kicking again, Carol.
You gotta. At that point, you gotta just be like, you know what? We're so good on third downs, but on the chance that we don't convert one, let's just go for it on fourth down.
Yeah, maybe we'll be good on fourth down too. Like when Crosby had that day, Crosby against the Bengals, every kick I was confident in. I was like, okay, he's got this one. He's got this one. And I was confident, like, there's no way he's going to miss this. He's not going to miss, this many in a row. And then he missed it. And I was like, man, I just caught a little bit of glimpse of being a Viking fan. Like, missing field goals. And I shouldn't even say it because that's disrespectful to Mason Crosby. But yeah, I can't imagine that it's not just the playoffs, it's just all the time. They could kick a field goal. Even the kicker's got to be like, bro, what are you doing? Go for it.
Don't put me in this situation again.
Yeah, like, what are you doing? My mom's watching this.
I thought we were going to convert on third down. I didn't even know what we're doing here.
My family's here. I don't want to be embarrassed. You know what's going to happen. Just imagine that, like being a kicker and you have a chance to win continuously and you choke and your kid, you go home and the kid's like, what's up, bro? Like, kick it through the poles. Like, you were like, that's your job, Dad. Like, I feel like there'd be judgment.
You know what this reminded me of? You ever hear that Kevin Hart skit where he talks about his dad getting his ass whooped?
Yeah.
Like the garbage? This is exactly what it's reminding me of. No, you pick up the garbage. Or I'll call Daryl back over here.
Yeah, dude. I always think about that. Like, when players have kids, like if you have a bad day at work, kids, and you're kind of cranking, But like, if you're like a quarterback and you throw like 4 interceptions, get blown out, kids watching on TV, like get sacked, fumbling the ball, looking like bum, and then he's like, "Wow, Dad didn't have a good day." Then the game ends, and then ESPN comes on, and like, "This guy's a piece of crap. They should trade him. He's horrible. Everyone hates him." And it's like, "That's my dad." Like Jay Cutler's kids,
Oh, Jay Cutler. We made full circle. We made it a full circle back to Jay Cutler.
Dude, Jay Cutler's kid came out smoking his pack of cigarettes. Let's be honest. Come on.
Actually, I like Jay Cutler now. He's kind of funny. But
yeah, he's pretty good on Twitter, yeah.
All right, Jake, hit me with your score prediction.
I went 37-17. I don't think it's going to be close at all. I really don't.
All right. My score prediction, I had 38-13. I think 5 touchdowns and a field goal is happening for the Packers.
Dude, we are always close on the numbers.
We are always close.
It's crazy.
And then you got Matt, Packers by 30.
I don't pick him to win by 30. Oh, no, I did. I said 45-10, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I forgot what I said already.
Make a new one. Packers by 30.
I'll have a whole one. I'll make a video and it'll be different. You'll be like, hey, you said on our show.
5 touchdowns, Packers 30-0.
It'll be 56-0. I was right one day on a video I made, and people were like, oh, you were right. You were picked up the score perfect. I'm like, yeah, but I did like 4 of those. Like, not
no
really.
Way.
Those,
Dude,
but
you
like,
gotta own that shit. You gotta own that shit. Fuck that, dude.
I mean, they're all pretty close. Like, because I just wing it. Like, if I'm on someone's show and they're like, what or it's going to be, like, I don't have it written down where I'm like, oh, this is my, whatever I feel that day. And sometimes I'm on a show and someone says like a good point, like, that's a good point. And then I just like, all right, yeah, they're going to score 20 more points now. Now you got me jacked up.
Yep, we're adding 5 for that. I had 40-10, Packers by 30, but after you said how bad the Washington defense is, I'm moving it up to 45.
I think maybe 52, maybe 52-10. Let's switch it. You guys got me jacked up now.
Good.
All right, well, we want to thank you for joining us. It's always fun having you on the show. It's always a good time. So anytime we can have you on the show, always welcome back, and it's always fun.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on, man. And sorry I couldn't get it done last week. I was like dying.
Hey, I'm glad
we still got you the week after the Bears game, and the Bears is what I was looking forward to having you on to talk about, because it's always a a fun fan base to see you talk about.
You're very good at poking at the Vikings, so I want you on for a Vikings game this year.
Yeah, dude, Viking fans are so easy. Like, Bears fans don't bite as much. There's a few that bite. Yeah, I was arguing some today, and it's just entertaining for me. But Viking fans, man, they get like all in their feelings. Like they will like go to war, and like not even about like anything serious. Like not like Aaron Rodgers saying I own you. Like I get why Bears fans are upset. Like I kind of get like why they'd be like screw you.
Right.
But Vikings, it's just like I'll be like, hey, your kicker is funny, and then they're like, you're a piece of crap, and freaking meh, and like going off and telling me about Kirk Cousins' numbers, like, and they don't like say Kirk Cousins is great. They're like, he's really good at third down. Oh, no idea. I was getting mauled.
That's that's my dog. Somebody probably just walked by with a dog.
No, my dogs are the same way, but I'm upstairs. Yeah, anyone like he does. My dogs don't think anyone's allowed to be outside, and especially
not on our sidewalk.
Yeah, and especially with leaves, like you can hear it more. And like, my dog's just like trying to jump through a window. People outside, like, wow, they have like a pack of Rottweilers in there. It's just too many dogs.
Yeah, they're still going.
Man, they're having a whole conversation with that guy outside, man.
Yeah, they're letting him know.
There must be like a pack of wolves on my front lawn or something.
By the sound of his bark, you've been like,
it's probably a squirrel. Let's be honest.
Yeah, someone's on the porch with a machete. It's got to be that. And it's,
it can't just be the mailman.
Yeah.
No.
Who walks by every single day.
Yeah.
Dude, and the dogs go crazy, dude. I have a little shit dog, dude. He barks at everything, man. Like, he always barks at me. I get home late on Tuesday nights. He'll just lose his shit. And I'm like, dude, I still live here. Shut up.
Yeah, dogs are stupid.
Oh, my God.
You can't say that, though. You can't say it. People like dogs. I like dogs.
No, I love my dog. He's a good dog.
I like my dog, but
I have a baby in my house that I need to sleep. So
I trash talk my dog. I trash.
I feel like that doesn't really surprise me, though.
No.
My dog's name is Finley. From Michael Finley, because I liked Finley for a minute, right? So like,
my boy.
Whenever Finley would drop the ball, like he's a puppy, then we'd be Finley, come on, don't drop it. My dog would like run off. They thought he would get yelled at. And no, it's just Finley dropping another freaking pass.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I should have named him that. Should have thought harder about. We're not a real creative bunch. We got a dog. Oh, there's a guy playing football for the Packers. Let's name him after him. A couple years later, he's gone. Trash talking the Packers. Yeah, that was a good pick.
That's why we named my dog after a mascot. That way, that doesn't change, and he's always beloved.
Yeah, yeah. My dog's got like and he's actually the good one. So he's old, whatever. He barely climb on the bed. Kind of like the real football player.
All right. Thank you for joining us, and hopefully we can have you on again soon.
All right. Thanks for having me. It was good talking to you guys.
Yep. Take care.
Peace out.
Man. That guy's funny as shit, dude.
That guy is funny. All right. So hit us with your weather report, and then we're going to talk about the Badgers and the Bucks yet.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I got to put this cat back on. I'm going crazy. My page flipped over, so everybody just stay with me. All right. Oh, my God, I'm good. I flipped right to the page, one page. All right, here we go.
Oh, look at you.
Weather report. It is going to be 53 degrees, northeast winds, northeast winds, and at 9 miles per hour, and up to 15 miles per hour wind gusts. It'll be 48 degrees in the shade, so it'll be kind of chilly. It's October. It's going to be cold. There's no rain. Nothing really crazy to report. Let's go out there and kick some ass, man.
All right. Sounds good. Let's talk about the Badgers. So my dad got married on Saturday night, so congrats to my dad and his now wife. They are on their honeymoon, so I doubt that they're watching. But so that's what I was up to on Saturday night. So I have some stats and some takeaways from this Badgers versus Army game. Basically that the Army scored their 14 points all in the fourth quarter. So I want to get your impressions from this game, the offense and the defense, and then I just want to throw some stats out there before we do the preview.
My first takeaway is I'm a little disappointed that we didn't kill him more. The offense is still trying to find its footing, I think. We use Graham Mertz as a runner. He was actually pretty good as a runner. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. But the thing that I really took away, there's 2 things. First of all, Braylon Allen needs to be the starting running back. The season's already a wash, so we're kind of in the same situation as the Bears, as in the Badgers just need to let guys go out there and just figure it out. We're the same way with Mertz.
Yep.
Let's just open it up,
Yep.
run what you got, and let's
Yep.
just let the guy sling it. That's the only
Yep.
way you're going to find out if the guy has what it takes.
Yep.
Tell the old line, let's figure it out. We'll get our reps in. Like, at this time, we're just getting PT, But a couple key plays that happened. We ran a fake punt in the second quarter with 6:16 left, and we actually picked it up. After that, we threw a deep pass to Danny Davis on the left sidelines, and it was a really, really great adjustment and great catch by Danny Davis. And that's when Mertz ended up scampering in the end zone on the left side.
Nice.
And then Leo Chenal, dude, that guy had the game of his freaking life.
I told you there's a big 3 in the linebackers. I told you.
He had the game of his life, man. He had 17 tackles. Last week when we talked, our leading tackler was Noah Burks with 16 total. Chanel had 17 in one game. He was in the backfield consistently. He had 8 solo tackles. He had a sack, and 1 was a forced fumble, which set up Mertz's other touchdown because we recovered the ball at like the 2 or 3 yard line. And he had 2.5 tackles for loss. I mean, Leo Chanel was really the player of the game. I mean, Braylon Allen had some really, really nice runs where he was kind of – and the thing that I like about Braylon Allen, as I'm rambling on here, he has really, really good balance for a big guy. You see him, he's stopping.
He's a low center of gravity.
Over, like he has good feet for a big guy. And that's,
Yep.
Feet is really the standard for running backs. They can jump cut, they can get through the holes. Like, he found his way through a couple tight cracks, and it's kind of like, okay, he could take that pounding, he could take that punching. He's like, Big Ten football, old school, it's ugly a lot of times, man. It's 50 rushing attempts, low scoring, like we saw it with the Penn State game. Braylon, and he's only 17 years old. That's another thing. That's insane. He had a 33-yard run. Total, he had 16 rushes for 108 yards and a touchdown. He broke one out to the left side for a big, long game. Army, man, they had 50 attempts and 179 rush yards. So, I mean, they did what they did.
Yeah, they stuck with their identity.
Yeah, they didn't start breaking out till the fourth quarter. I mean, the Badgers got a 20-14 win, but they just got to let the offenses go, man. I mean, we're 3-3. We're looking at, like a Goodyear Tire Thanksgiving Day Bowl or whatever. They got 100 bowl games. We'll still make one. We're going to beat up on these little teams. I don't know if we're going to beat Purdue, though, but we'll get to that in a sec.
So, for me, after looking at this, the couple things that I had to take away was, 1, I called the big 3. I called that. Big 3 being Leo Chenal, Jack Sanborn, and Nick Herbig. Those 3 combined for 36 tackles.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And then Scott Nelson added 11. And then the other thing with this is on the offensive side of the ball, they got to stop turning the ball over.
Yeah.
They got to clean up the fumbles, and Mertz needs to clean up the interceptions. So on defense, just basically keep doing what you're doing, try to force some turnovers, and then on the offensive side, keep doing what you're doing, but stop turning the ball over.
I can see that.
All right, so let's talk about the Badgers and Purdue. Purdue really kind of put the college football world on notice this past week.
Yes,
They played a number 2 Iowa and held them to 1 score. They beat them 24-7.
Yeah.
And the thing that concerns me as far as Purdue is concerned is their strength of their offense is their passing game. And that's something that the Badgers are susceptible to, is a good passing game. Aiden O'Connell for Purdue last week was 30 of 40 for 375 yards and 2 touchdowns. And their leading receiver, David Bell, had 11 receptions for 240 yards and a touchdown.
Yep, he went nuts. I watched most of that second half.
Oh, my God. That Purdue, they don't have much of a run game, so the Badgers probably control them there. But for me, the key to this game, I'm really not even concerned about the offense versus Purdue's defense, because basically do what you do and you'll be fine. But what I'm keying on in this game is for the pass rush to get there early and often to try to slow down their passing game. Because I don't think our corners are anything to write home about. They have some decent, experienced corners with the Badgers, but there's nobody that's going to be drafted.
Yeah.
So the pass rush needs to create early pressure and constant pressure to not give Aiden O'Connell a chance to sit back and pick apart a defense. So that's where I'm at with this game.
All right. Purdue and Wisconsin. So I wrote down David Bell as well. He's my X factor for stopping him. I would honestly just probably double him because when I was looking at their receiving yards, I was like, okay, so they're basically like Packers where it's like David Bell or nothing. They use 3 quarterbacks. So Aiden O'Connell, we brought him up. He is their leading passer with 1,118 yards. He has 6 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. And then they use Jack Plummer, who I have no idea if he has relations to Jake Plummer. I would assume he does. Age seems about the right thing. He has 843 yards, 7 touchdowns, no interceptions. So he's been more efficient. And then they have Austin Burton. He's kind of more of the dual threat kind of guy. He's only throwing 6 passes. He's 5 for 6, 44 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. And he has 9 rushes for 29 yards. So they kind of just bring him in to give the defense like, oh, okay, when this guy's in, we're doing this look. And the other 2, they kind of sling it. The thing about this game is, first of all, we're going to Purdue. So that's going to be tough. And Purdue is on an emotional high. So maybe after that, they're overlooking us. We could come in there. Maybe we could smash them in the mouth and catch them by surprise.
You know what's really weird about this game is it always seemed like the Badgers were a good top 15 team, and Purdue was always our trap game that we'd lose. And now it's flipped, and the Badgers have a chance to be a trap game for Purdue.
I was just going to say that, dude.
It's really weird that the script is flipped. So Iowa did have some success running the ball on Purdue. So that's going to be the Badgers' key to success is not only the pass rush, like I mentioned, but if they can run the ball effectively and sustain drives and control the time of possession, there's a recipe for success to be had here, and there's a path to see the Badgers winning this game. I unfortunately am not predicting it that way. I'm going to predict that the Purdue Boilermakers win 24-17, but there's no reason to think that the Badgers have no chance in this game because there's 2 things basically that the Badgers are good at that can win them this game, and that's pass rush and running the ball. What do you think?
So running the ball is actually one of my keys. I'm going to get into that right now. The Badgers average 207 rush yards a game, and they average giving up 64 after giving up a ton to Army. The Purdue Boilermakers only average 88 rush yards per game on offense, and they give up 116. So if the Badgers can couple running the ball with my key last week, and actually it was kind of funny. I said it last week, and then the Associated Press wrote about it after their game against Army. So yeah, maybe we have a future in this. I'm just saying. The Badgers have an outstanding defense, and we've been talking about that all year. The one thing they don't do, turn the ball over. If the Badgers can find a way to turn the ball over and run the ball and control the clock, this is still the fan in me talking. It's still my heart coming out of my mouth. But I am predicting a win. I'm predicting 17-15. It's going to be ugly. The Badgers are going to have to grind it out. If Graham Mertz doesn't hurt us and just manages the game and the defense forces a turnover or 2, because, you've seen Aiden O'Connell. He has 6 touchdowns and 5 picks. It's not like he's lighting up the world over there. I mean, they got a lot of receiving yards. They throw for a lot of yards already this season.
I was going to say he accumulated a lot of yards, yeah.
But he gives the other team opportunities as well. So if the Badgers can capitalize on that and run the ball and force turnovers themselves, I could see a path that we can win this game. This game's not till 2 o'clock, by the way, if anybody's trying to watch it. Badgers are actually favored to win this game by 3, and the over-under is 40.
Oh, I would take the under. I feel like I'd take the under.
Every Badger game that I've seen, ever since seeing the offense, I'm like, take the under. And I've never in my life thought, like, okay, in football, I'm going to take the under. Because usually you take the over because that's just a safe bet. But the safe bet with the Badgers is taking the under 100% of the time.
Oh, with a slow-moving offense and a great defense?
Yeah.
Take the under.
You're about to get. It's about to be a grind. I see the path. So I'm gonna do my weather report real quick.
All right, do it up.
It's gonna be 61 degrees, and northwest winds at 1 mile per hour. So really no wind, no rain in the forecast, low cloud coverage. This is just gonna be good old fashioned smash mouth football. If you like people running into each other on purpose, this is your game to watch. Big Ten is awesome, man. I love Big Ten football.
I mean, the lack of any inclement weather. I mean, this would be a nice game to see Mertz hit on some deep throws. He's had a lot of overthrows this year, so it would be nice to see Graham Mertz connect on some of those plays this weekend. And I would love to be wrong about this. So, if the Badgers can turn around and win this game, 30-0, that would be cool. I'd totally be okay with being wrong.
I don't want them to get expectations in there because then we're just going to get crushed twice in 1 year. Hey.
All right. You have anything else you want to talk about with the Badgers?
No. I'm ready for some Bucks though, buddy.
Let's talk about the Bucks. That was last night. That was an awesome game, I gotta say. So they get their rings, they hang the banner. Which, all right, this is a really weird preference thing. But when they're like, all right, reveal the banner, and Middleton counted it down from 5, and instead of like just going and ripping the blanket off, or going and letting it fall, it was.
Yeah, I hated that too. Like, why? Like, we waited 50 years. We don't need 50 years to reveal the banner. Oh, hey, there's Tyler. Oh my God, Peekaboo.
Oh, that's the Bucks logo under there. I totally didn't even see that with all the green on there. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I would have a Band-Aid rip would have been much better than the super duper slow reveal. So let's talk about this Bucks and Nets game. And the Bucks got off to a hot start, weathered some runs, pushed the lead back up, weathered some more runs, pushed the lead back up, weathered some runs, pushed the lead back up, and finished the game in a blowout. So let's just go through the game. I mean, I pretty much wrote down notes as I watched the entire game and had a lot of thoughts. So what are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I watched a lot of ESPN this morning, and a lot of them were talking about how they weren't giving an excuse to the Nets for missing Kyrie Irving. That's totally his decision. But there was other people that were bringing up the Bucks missing people too. We missed Drew Holiday for a whole half, basically.
Yep.
Bobby Portis wasn't there. DiVincenzo wasn't there.
Yep.
I mean, Grayson
Semi
Allen
didn't play.
Buck. Like, I mean, there's just a lot of shit that happened. I mean, we saw maybe the emergence of Jordan Nwora. I mean, he had a pretty damn good game in my opinion. I had zero expectations for the guy coming into the season. So for him to really do anything and hit a couple threes, I was just kind of like, well, okay, this game's kind of it means nothing really, but it means something because of tiebreaker at the end of the year. Really is what it is for. Same thing with the next game against the Heat.
Well, and the nice thing about it is, you start the year off with a win against a good team. And, you don't have to deal with the bad taste in your mouth of, oh, here we go. The Brooklyn Nets started off with a win against the defending champs. You don't have to deal with that.
Yeah. And the Lakers lost last night. So the Nets and the Lakers, the two teams that everybody's picking over the Bucks. The Bucks are disrespected. It's just like the whole offseason.
I will say, Bleacher Report did have the Bucks number 1 in their power rankings.
As they should. The Bucks, our two best players have played together for how long? They just
9
won
years.
the damn title.
Yep.
Yeah, like, dude, there's no, like, we have the same coach who's damn good, deserves some respect. He makes some errors here and there, but what coach doesn't? He's not going to be perfect.
4 out of 5 returning starters.
I mean, yeah, man. The one thing I really wanted to point out was Grayson Allen, man. I was really, really impressed with Grayson Allen. I think he's going to be a guy that really just, when you build a team, you want it to be like a puzzle, right? Like, okay, this piece fits here, this piece fits here. Grayson Allen is that piece where it's kind of like that weird little knobby piece in the middle. And you're just like, oh, we got to fill that. How do we fill that? And Grayson Allen's just like, oh, I got it. He's getting steals. His hands, he's in passing lanes. He's annoying. Like, he's shooting threes, so he's spreading the ball around. He had 6 assists last night. Like, 10 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. That is everything that we asked for out of him. He had a lot of open shots, so he really could have scored a lot more. He was 3 for 10 on threes. But he still made 3 of them, so you still have to respect him. And like I said, the 6 assists to go along with it, man. I mean, he had 1 steal. I think it was on Durant. Durant was like driving from the left to the middle, and he just rips right out of Durant's hands. We got a run on after that, and I'm just like, dude, this Grayson Allen pickup is going to be massive. And I don't know, he wasn't really the premier ball defender on James Harden, was he? That was more Drew
No,
Holiday.
Drew.
And Drew was giving him problems, bro. My favorite play of the whole game was really early when Harden shot that three, and he tried to do that little floppy thing on Giannis, and he
didn't get the call. Oh.
So then he tried to go back on defense, and he actually fouled Giannis, and Giannis got the and one. I was like, let's go! Oh my god, that was so.
Dude, I tweeted it last night. I'm like, it's literally the first possession of the season, and James Harden is already complaining to the refs.
Already, dude, and Blake Griffin was in that girl ref's ear all night, dude. All night. It's so annoying. All
like James Harden, he's not a dumb guy.
No.
You know the rule changed. Why are you trying to get the same calls?
For real, dude. Like everybody, and the adjustment process that he's gonna have to go through if I'm gonna switch to be pro James Harden, it is big. But he's gonna have to make the refs think that he's a physical player, because for how long now he's been, riding on these, really, really shitty calls and flops and ticky-tack calls. Like, he's going to have to show that he can be physically dominant. And he is a strong guy. You see Giannis trying to back him down a couple times, and he's kind of holding it. And, like, Giannis is obviously body of a Greek god. So it's like, for him to hold him back is pretty good.
He's got a low center of gravity, but
Giannis has got to go at him, though. I'm going to say that. Because James Harden's not known as a great defender. Giannis, go and baby his little ass, okay? He's 6'5".
Yeah, you don't need to do the post fade on Harden.
Yeah, no. Dunk on him, get your layup. You're gonna get a clean shot. It's either that or you're gonna get fouled. And Giannis's free throw routine, boy,
it's better. We need to talk about it because it's better.
I'll let you have the floor now for a little while here.
All right. So you know what? I'm just gonna run through my whole set of notes here. So early in the game, they talked about it on the broadcast. The Bucks were killing the offensive boards. They stayed active. Giannis had like 4 offensive rebounds in like 1 possession earlier, and that was without Bobby Portis, who was one of our best offensive rebounders last year. Yeah. So the Bucks staying active on offensive rebounds is still something that's a huge improvement from the year before last year. Coming into last year was the better offensive rebounding, and that's continued so far this year. So that is something I want to see continue, is offensive rebounding and second chance points. Giannis getting that block on Claxton. Giannis is already in midseason form on defense. He is everywhere. So the Bucks come out in the first quarter, 37-25, no turnovers. 5 different players made threes in the first quarter, and Giannis had 13 points and 8 rebounds in the first quarter. Drew was 2 for 2 on threes. He struggled from 3-point line at times last year, so if he can kind of have some positive regression and shoot better on threes this year, he could be real big trouble. And my bold prediction of 3 All-Stars for the Bucks would look really good. Yeah. Brook Lopez was hitting threes. Pat Connaughton was hitting threes. Pat Connaughton finished with 20 points last night.
Yeah, he balled.
The Bucks went until 4 minutes and 29 seconds left in the first half before they committed their first turnover.
Yep, that stupid pass that went over the head.
Yeah, Middleton just threw one a little bit too far. Yep. So all of that, they were contesting jump shots well. Pat Connaughton, you kind of mentioned Drew Holiday, Giannis. Everybody was doing well contesting jump shots without getting in the landing area like LaMarcus Aldridge did to Middleton, got under his legs. That's still a foul. That rule hasn't changed. The great ball movement, you get a defensive rebound, ball gets handed off to Middleton, and he throws a full court pass, touchdown to Giannis for a dunk and one. That's just beautiful basketball. That is mid-season, 100% chemistry, just throwing the ball up there where your guy can get it and the other guy can't. Giannis getting the dunk and the foul. I mean, it's just beautiful basketball.
Yeah.
The Jordan Nwora coming in on the second unit. He's going to be the second unit shooting guard until Dante is healthy. Now, I want people to kind of temper their expectations with Jordan Nwora a little bit, because when Dante comes back, he's taking Nora's minutes. Those minutes aren't coming from Grayson Allen. Those minutes aren't coming from Drew Holiday. Those minutes are coming from Jordan Nwora. So I want people to not freak out when it happens, because it's going to happen that when Dante's healthy, Nwora is going to get less minutes. That being said, it's good to see Jordan Nwora being a willing defender and rebounder. he's got some work to do on pump fakes and positioning and, just some lateral quickness and stuff. But he's athletic. He showed it off. He had a strip, and then the ball got outletted for a score. He ran the pick and roll with Giannis, and then he had the block on Kevin Durant. Now, I said to you this before the show, that play doesn't show that Jordan Nwora is a great defender. That play was about athleticism more than it was about defense, but it was a great play. So credit to Jordan Nwora. It was a great play. Got the block on Kevin Durant. Also with the hustle that he showed, there was a ball that was tipped away. It was a block actually, and the ball was going out of bounds. Jordan Nwora jumped, saved it, and the Bucks got the rebound and went outletted and scored in transition. Which that's a whole other thing on its own. The Bucks transition game, just fantastic.
Passing, dude. The passing is so crisp.
It was, and second quarter, Mamu got some playing time. This is another injury thing, but we got to see a little bit of Mamu last night. Now, no Semi Ojeleye, no Bobby Portis. So there you go. There's your Mamu minutes right there. Oh, I kind of like that. I kind of like that Mamu minutes. He started the second quarter. He was working well with Jordan Nwora. They kind of ran a little two-man game, and Jordan Nwora ended up getting a 3 without there. So, like I said, they withstood the runs. Brooklyn cut the lead to 5 in the second quarter, and they pushed it all the way back up to 19. Yeah. So they weathered the run, pushed that game all the way back up. Drew Middleton didn't play in the second half. Chris Middleton played in the second half. And it was mid-range murder. Chris Middleton was making all of his mid-range. He was putting moves on KD, shooting over KD, he was shooting over double teams, he was dribbling out of double teams. Chris Middleton did a lot in the second half. And he was making everything on his way to 20 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists. So Chris Middleton picked up the slack on offense in the second half. Obviously, Giannis just everywhere, just getting dunks, layups, drawing contact, finishing through contact. He had a left-handed glass layup that he put up over Kevin Durant that kissed off the top of the glass and went in, didn't even touch the inside of the square. Yeah. So, I mean, Giannis is finishing with power and finesse. So Giannis is doing it all. Middleton's hitting all of his jumpers. Drew was hitting threes before he went out with the injury. Being game one, you take the cautious approach. It's a heel bruise for Drew Holiday, so I wouldn't say it's outside the realm of possibility that he plays tomorrow night. But then going to a guy like Pat Connaughton, made some tough finishes around the rim. He had a couple dunks from just, he's getting some nice cuts. He finished some nice layups through contact. I mean, you really can't ask for anything else from this Bucks team in game one. You blew out a team that's supposed to, take the cake this year, and you took it and put it to them. Now, what I want to say is that adding Kyrie to this team does not change this game, because I heard this all through the playoffs that if Kyrie was healthy, if the Nets were healthy, there's still one basketball. That's what we said when you made this trade. There's one basketball. So adding a guy doesn't automatically add all of his stats to what you already had. His touches come at the expense of other players' touches. Brooklyn shot a good percentage last night. Adding Kyrie doesn't just add 25 points to your total. Brooklyn still would have lost last night with Kyrie. They might have had a couple less turnovers and the game might have been closer because the Bucks got a lot of extra possessions from the Nets having turnovers and a lot of one and dones. So the Bucks got extra possessions that way. But adding Kyrie to your team doesn't just add all the production without subtracting anything from anybody else. And with Kyrie, that production comes at the expense of Kevin Durant and James Harden because they handle the ball the most.
All right, so I'm going to hit on that point. Kevin Durant was not really having the greatest game, going into halftime because they were letting James Harden handle the ball. And they were trying to run a lot of pick and roll, and he kept throwing it to Claxton, and Claxton finished, a couple of them. But it's like, dude, I will live with that all day. Because we are getting 3 buckets to your 1 alley-oop lob that you're going to show on the highlight reel, but we beat your ass, basically, is what I was thinking. I was like, go ahead, throw it again. Throw it again. I don't care. You're turning the ball over and missing layups. We're getting runouts on that. You can't keep up with us. And just wait till we play the Lakers. We're gonna run that eight. We're gonna run
Oh, yeah.
whole different retirement home.
They ran out of gas after 3 quarters last night.
And I understand it's game 1, but dude, the Bucks are youthful.
I was gonna say if there's a game that you're well rested for, it should be game 1.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I got into a whole debate yesterday. I want to know, you can comment on this video later. Do you guys think that Anthony Davis is better than Giannis? Because he's not.
No, he's not.
I think Anthony Davis is a fantastic player. I am not talking any trash about him.
He's top 10.
Player. Yep, he can shoot the ball. He can handle a little bit.
He can defend.
Defense. But for a Lakers fan to come and tell me that Anthony Davis handles the ball better than Giannis is actually laughable. Giannis brings the ball up for one. He
ran point guard for a while last night.
He runs. Well, if you bring the ball up, you're a point guard. I heard that too. But he runs pick and rolls as the ball handler. At 6'11". He finishes on the rim off the dribble against bigs and smalls all the time. And he's an underrated passer.
Dude, he's gotten better literally every single year as a passer, and people still don't give him credit for how good of a passer he is.
The thing that people don't understand, and this is the point that I really, really want to make, and I told you I was watching a lot of ESPN, and I heard Stephen A. Smith say this, and I know not a lot of people respect Stephen A. Smith, but when he talks basketball, I listen to him, because the man's been around basketball for a long, long time. He said that Kobe Bryant is looking down, he's smiling, looking down at Giannis, because Giannis just won the goddamn title. He's a 2-time MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Most Improved Player of the Year, and this man's coming out here. He takes his ring, he puts it down, and he goes out there and he hands the business to the Brooklyn Nets on national television, acting like he ain't got shit, like he's still selling CDs and shoes. This man is.
They've already forgotten about the title. Chris Middleton said it. We just need to forget about it, act like it didn't happen, and then repeat it and do it again.
And I want people, and I was hard on Chris Middleton for a long, long time because I wanted one thing. I said, just show up when it matters. But at this point, with these rules and how Middleton looked last year and how I've seen James Harden look in the playoffs, when we play the Brooklyn Nets, I want them to start talking about 4 superstars. That's how I really feel. Chris Middleton had a greater impact last night than James Harden by far.
Easily.
And in the series they played, Chris Middleton had a way bigger impact than James Harden in the playoffs. James Harden never showed up in the playoffs. And Chris Middleton, that was his one hitch. I was always about that. But Chris Middleton showed up last year when we needed him. So they better start giving Chris Middleton his respect. And a big reason, a big reason why, last week I gave my predictions on Middleton improving his stats is because they won the title. So he got that monkey and that pressure off his back. So I think that may be a thing that he's unleashed. He doesn't have to play with the pressure all 82 games and then all the 7-game series in the playoffs. He's okay now. He can decompress and he can just be free. So I think Chris Middleton's going to be unleashed this year. The way that Drew Holiday was looking, bro, the Bucks are a problem, bro. We are a problem. That's all I know.
And dude, and this team is deep. It is so deep. You saw Jordan Nwora, a second-year player who ran the bench the entire season last year, come in and toss up 15-6 against the title favorite.
Man.
James Harden finished 6 of 16 last night. And all 6 of the baskets that he made was in a 4-minute stretch. He had 15 points coming in the last few minutes of the third quarter. He finished with 20.
Yeah, he kept trying to do that flop thing on the 3-pointers, and I'm like,
he just kept falling down and then calling for asking for fouls and he did a lot of this. So I personally I don't respect James Harden's game at all.
I mean, I respect Kyrie's game. I've talked about it all the time. He's a nutcase. But Kevin Durant, I know he was being a big baby on Twitter with all his burners and shit, but that guy, he could score. He is the only great problem on that team.
Yep.
Patty Mills had a great game last night.
Yep.
But in a 7-game series, he's going to do that, maybe once or twice? And where the hell is Joe Harris?
Dude, since I said he was an X factor in the series last year, boom, gone.
Man,
He does not know how to shoot threes anymore. He was like 3 for 9 last night. Gone.
I don't understand what happened. Like he was like leading the NBA in 3-point percentage or something. He's getting all the looks.
Yep.
His confidence has got to be shot or something. There's something going on, dude. Family stuff. I don't know. I mean, something's going on. But he is nowhere to be found right now.
So you talked about Giannis. He finished with 32 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks. Getting really, really close to the first game of me predicting that Giannis is going to have a triple-double as my most bold prediction as for an average. So maybe if he comes out and has a big game, they play Miami tomorrow. They play at San Antonio on Saturday, and they play at Indianapolis on Monday. So they got a little 3-game road trip coming up here.
Yep.
We got a new look Miami Heat team. Kyle Lowry's on that team now. Healthy Jimmy Butler, and then Bam Adebayo. So that's their big 3. San Antonio, they're in a rebuild. That's where they're at. San Antonio's full rebuild. And then they're looking at the Indiana Pacers, who are probably going to be in that like 7 to 10 range. I'm not sure if they're. Yep. So they're looking in that play-in tournament area. I mean, Malcolm Brogdon just got re-signed, so he's there for a while. I think they should have Karis LeVert. I'm not 100% positive, but and then they got Miles Turner and DeMontis Sabonis in their front court. So that'll be a big game for Brook Lopez, whose interior defense has not gotten worse with his age. So Brook Lopez still doing his thing. He's still just patrolling the paint.
He had that one play yesterday, and I was like, whoa, like he was hustling back, protecting the rim. I'm like, this is game one. Game 1, and you're busting your ass. This Bucks team wants to go back-to-back so bad.
Dude.
Nobody's giving them the respect. I hope we go back-to-back so bad, dude. Like,
dude, there's not a team outside maybe Utah that I wouldn't pick the Bucks to win a championship series in 6 games or less.
Yeah.
I mean that. Like, even a fully healthy Nets, a fully healthy Lakers, like the way this Bucks team like plays and their depth and their chemistry and their culture, like I don't know how you couldn't like the Bucks. This is super early in the year, but I don't know how you couldn't like the Bucks to repeat right now.
Tim Legler said it. Who else said it? I don't remember the other guy. There was somebody else.
Charles Barkley said it.
Yeah, Charles Barkley.
He's on TNT, but
yeah, he's like hardly ever right. But he was right last year when he picked the Bucks.
He was.
He said that. But I mean, there's been enough people that really are picking the Bucks, but it's just the mainstream media really just wants the East Coast versus West Coast thing. So more people and stuff. But it's like, give me the guy from Greece, that likes dunking on people and embarrassing them. I'm all for that.
All right. You have anything else Bucks related? I got one more thing to talk about.
I do not know.
All right. So we're going to close the show out with a teeny tiny little bit of Brewers news. They fired hitting coach Andy Haynes. So the Brewers are going to have a new hitting coach next year. And the assistant hitting coach was told that he's free to pursue other opportunities. So the assistant hitting coach isn't getting the job either. David Stern said they're looking at internal and external options, and there's a lot of good candidates out there. So I want them to take their time with this decision because that's the area that the Brewers need to improve the most is hitting. So new hitting coach coming to the Brewers next year. Hopefully it can make a difference and put the offense to go with the defense and pitching that this team has.
Just so much wasted potential, I think.
Unfortunately. And this is really weird, and I hope that it turns out the same way, but I'm really starting to see a lot of parallels between the Bucks and the Brewers where they had these years where they're so close. The Bucks were in the Eastern Conference Finals up 2-0, then they had back-to-back early playoff exits, and then they went all the way. And within all of that, there was people calling for Budenholzer's head, and now it's happening where people are calling for Craig Counsell, and the Brewers have had some early playoff exits after being so close. They had a Game 7 in 2018. And now, they had some early playoff exits. So it's it's weird, but I'm really seeing some parallels here, and hopefully the Brewers can go over the top like the Bucks did.
Hey, it's just a matter of time, I think. That's really what I think. Same thing with the Packers. I mean, a lot of people are really freaking out and thinking like this might be the last dance. But, after Rodgers' comments and seeing how locked in he is, I think we're going to get more in 1 year with Rodgers and Devontae. That's really how I feel.
I really agree with you on that. Just the way that they talk about it and the way that Rodgers has gone from, what Schefter said about not wanting to be here to, there's a way I can come back this year, to the team working with him to go through this year and talk about next year. And then Rodgers saying that, there's a way that I could see staying with the Packers. So like the door is open, and, the more that they win and play well, the further open that door gets.
Well, and on top of that, they're bringing in free agents that fit in the money. And like people are starting to take they just had to listen and show Rodgers that respect, dude. And these guys are taking pay cuts to come here. Like Merciless is a good player. He's still got plenty in the tank, dude. He can get after the quarterback. He can make tackles in open field, put pressure on people. Like he's a good player. He is going to be nothing but good for our defense. I'm going to give Jalen Smith a couple weeks.
I will say I'm more excited about Whitney Merciless than I was about Jalen Smith.
I mean, Merciless has been a better player in his career. Easily. Not even close. But it's not like Barnes really looked good against the Bears either. Let that one touchdown go, and the guy was just wide open. He was just, and I said it, I don't remember if I said it to you or whatever. I was like, what is he doing? And you were like staring at Fields, and I'm like, yeah, you can't do that though. I mean, I understand if he was the spy, but it looked like he was supposed to switch.
It looked like he was playing zone and then just stopped moving.
You can't be in no man's land. That's just the end of the story.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm going to let the second linebacker figure itself out. Thank God we have Devondre Campbell playing at the level he is. He gets to go and play the Cardinals in a few weeks, and he might be a difference maker in that game. I'm just saying, he got released by the Cardinals. So, with that being said, hopefully, I'm hoping Merciless, I don't think he's going to play this week, but hopefully next week he could play against, the Cardinals and apply some pressure on Kyler. And Kyler likes to turn the ball over. We'll talk more about that next week, but I'm pretty excited. I'm pumped up. Packers are good. Bucks are back, man. Let's do this shit, bro.
So we're going to have college basketball soon, so we're going to have to do primers for the basketball.
And what you didn't bring up today was November 4th.
Oh, I'm about to.
Oh, okay.
Really quick on your topic of being released, because the Packers did release Quentin Dunbar, so that happened. So November 4th, Jake mentioned it, live show, Green Bay Parker Johns, Thursday night, November 4th, 6:30. Come and hang out with us. We're going to have some stuff to give away. We're going to have tons of Packer talk of that day and some good food at Parker John's. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. So come and hang out with us at the Green Bay Parker John's. It's really close to Lambeau, and we're going to have tons of Packer talk. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So if you don't have anything else, I will see you next week then.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you next week.
All right. Go Bucks, go Packers, and Badgers.
Yes, sir.